Hey gang, Todd here with the final episode of Wednesday. A lot of stuff happens, and it is a pretty... I like to have this little... there we go. It is a really exciting episode. It opens with Wednesday making a date with Tyler, and he shows up. They're back at the crypt, and Bianca, Ajax, Yoko, and a couple of others from the Nightshade group surround him. And they take him to Xavier's studio. And Wednesday accuses him of being the Hyde, and he denies it, and she's planning to torture him to get him to change. This is a little too far for the rest, and they leave. And they take all the information they know and give it to Miss Weems, who calls the sheriff. Sheriff comes, he arrests Wednesday. And Wednesday, when she's talking to the sheriff, said that she knows that Tyler's mother, whose face was in the picture hanging in the Nightshade library of the fencing team, that was Tyler's mother. The sheriff knows Tyler's mother was a Hyde, and he's been trying to protect Tyler in the hopes that he will not become a Hyde. Sheriff scoffs, says Xavier's the killer. She should know. She helped him get the evidence. Tyler does not want to press charges, but he does ask to talk to Wednesday privately before she leaves, where he admits everything. He is the Hyde. He loves killing his victims. And that she will not see what's coming. And for the first time in her life, Wednesday is scared. Unfortunately, Wednesday is expelled. This is the last straw. And just as Enid had moved back in, they're saying their goodbyes. Eugene has woken up, and Wednesday goes to see him. She gets Miss Williams to allow her to go see him before she gets escorted to the train station. And in talking to Eugene, she realizes the psychiatrist was not the master of the Hyde, because Eugene saw that the person who firebombed the lair had red boots on. Miss Thornhill wears red boots. Wednesday, after she's supposed to have left on the train, confronts Miss Thornhill, who starts to deny it until Wednesday brings out Tyler, who has admitted everything to her. And Miss Thornhill, she kind of laughs and says, okay, yeah, I am Laurel Gates. But you haven't broken my spell over Tyler. She actually had used plant-based hypnotherapy to get his Hyde to emerge. And she is still in control of him. He was sent to intercept her before she went to the station. But it's not really Tyler. It's Miss Weems in disguise. She's a shapeshifter. Unfortunately, Miss Thornhill was getting a concoction of nightshade poisoning together, and she kills Miss Weems and knocks out Wednesday with a shovel. Eugene calls Enid to tell her of all the things that he and Wednesday have discussed. So, and he explains to Enid that since Ajax is with her, they're, FaceTiming, that he can gather the group. Enid's a little upset that she was not told there was a secret organization. They're dating after all. But they go and they gather everyone, and they go to the conservatory where they find Miss Weems dead. And with the information they have, they realize that remember the picture, they've got to protect the school. And if the school's going to burn down, they have to get everyone out of the school. So Bianca comes up with the idea that in order to not cause a panic, she takes off her medallion, and the other sirens in the club take off theirs, and they go to use their siren powers to get everyone safely outside. Wednesday wakes up, and she's chained. Turns out the whole plan to get revenge and destroy the school is to use Wednesday to open up the crypt that contains the body of the founder. Goody Adams had put a blood lock on it when she killed him. Only a direct blood descendant of Goody Adams can open the lock during a night of a blood moon. Cutting Wednesday's hand, she puts it on the lock, and the lock is open. Using the book she stole from Pilgrim World, she was able to use the incantation to using the body parts that are all connected now to revive the founder, Crookshank. The founder. These names. He stabs Wednesday, and they leave. Tyler's already hided out and gone to start a killing spree. Wednesday sees Goody, and Goody tells her she can heal her using the medallion Morticia gave her, but she will never see Goody again. Wednesday agrees because she has to save the school. She's revived, all her wounds are healed. She heads off. Now, two other things happen at this point. One, the very smart Nevermore students have disabled all the police cars in town and then sent out a general alert that there's something happening at the school. The only one left to do anything is the sheriff, who was transporting Xavier. So he turns around, drives back towards the school, but stops. He gets out. He's got to find his son. Luckily for Xavier, Thing was tagging along, and I shouldn't say tagging along, he comes upon the car and frees Xavier. Now, Thing originally had been with Enid. He had shown up after Wednesday had been attacked to tell her to also give her information. But while running to rescue Wednesday, Enid wolfs out for the first time. It is an awesome werewolf. Very much built along the lines of like Lupin from Harry Potter. It's got that greyhound kind of look, big, strong upper body, very thin waist, and long, thin legs in the back. huge ears. And as Wednesday's rushing towards the school, she's attacked by Tyler. And Tyler is in turn attacked by Enid, allowing Wednesday to continue heading towards the school. The sheriff comes upon Enid and Tyler fighting. And he can't bring himself to shoot Tyler. And after a hellacious fight, Enid actually incapacitates Tyler, knocks him out. And the sheriff is cradling. We think he's dead at this point, but he's not. And he reverts back to human form. Sheriff's, oh, my son. And Enid also reverts back to human form. Luckily, her coat wasn't too ripped up, so she's not naked. Because the last thing we need to see in this show is a 16-year-old girl naked. No, that's not going to work. But back to school, the founder has arrived, and he's sent Thornhill away because she talks incessantly, and he's sick of hearing it. And starts setting fire to the school and attacking students with his staff. And Wednesday shows up, having grabbed the sword that had been used back when Garrett had died. But before she can engage the founder, Xavier shows up and shoots an arrow at him. But the founder, having magical powers now, stops the arrow and sends it back towards Xavier. But Wednesday steps in front of it and gets hit in the shoulder. She sends Xavier out to help the kids outside. She will handle the founder. Pulling the arrow out, she and the founder have a great sword fight until he shatters the blade. He pins Wednesday to a door that had been knocked down and is preparing to kill her when someone stabs him from behind. It's Bianca, and he knocks her out of the way, but this gives Wednesday enough of a chance to grab another part of the shattered blade and shove it directly into his heart, which is the only way to kill him. Goody had told her that. And he disintegrates. But things aren't over yet, because Thornhill comes back in with a gun. She can't kill everybody in the school, but she can at least get rid of Wednesday. When suddenly she's attacked by hives of bees. Controlled by Eugene. Hive code, Hummers stick together. Wednesday has Eugene call off the bees and tells him to turn away. And she walks up to Thornhill, and all we see her do is bring her foot down to her, the foot coming towards the camera. So I don't know if she killed her or if she knocked her out to be turned over to the police. And by the time Enid makes it back to the school, it's all over. And Wednesday gives her a much longed for hug, because Wednesday actually needs comfort at this point for all she's been through. And as we come to an end, the rest of the semester has been canceled after all that's happened. So Enid invites Wednesday to visit her in San Francisco, saying, weather's usually foggy and rainy. Be just the best thing to appeal to you. And Wednesday tells her it is tempting. Xavier gives her a phone, her first piece of modern technology, and he actually put his number in it. She says that's rather bold of him, and he says, well, I'm not expecting a phone call, but a text might be nice. she tells Thing they are not an item. And then she leaves. But as she's leaving, they pass the transport vehicle of Tyler, who is turning into Hyde and may escape. But more importantly, Wednesday gets a text from an unknown caller. She has a stalker who may or may not want to kill her. Things might get more interesting. So it's a good lead into a second season if they get it. I think this was a great show. Full of action, intrigue. I know some people were complaining that it's not like the Addams Family should be, in which they are all a happy family that love each other. But you can't really do that show anymore. That was a great show in the 60s when it was spoofing the 1950s family show, much like the Monsters, where they thought they were perfectly normal and were a pillar of the community. That can't work now. There's too much gone between. And yes, Wednesday is even more extreme than Christina Ricci's take in the films in the 90s, but it's necessary. You need that conflict within it. And it is interesting to see Wednesday even being an outsider among outsiders. And that's kind of our focal point as the audience, because we can see how outside everything this is, how different all this is. And Jenna Ortega kills it. That scene in the previous episode where she was on the verge of crying, that crumbling of all those walls she put up to keep the world away can't continue. She doesn't have to give up who she is, but she can't stand alone against the world. She needs friends and family. And I think that's a good message. Some were saying that it's meaning that she has to conform, but she doesn't. Not really. Accepting other people doesn't mean you're conforming. That is a misconception. And that's where the complaints that all the minority characters were villains, or specifically the black minority characters were villains. That's not so. Lucas and Bianca have character arcs, and they become better people at the end. You have to have character arcs and changes and conflict, or you don't have a story. Well, that's my take on the final episode. Excellent end to the series, and I'm really hopeful they have a second season, because I would like to see where Wednesday goes with this new mindset. Please hit like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.